Welcome to episode 143 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name's Trent. Jason's here with me as always. And this week we've got Doxy.
Yes.
We've got both Tom King and Kevin Bunch, original members, and of course, current members of this reformation of Doxy.
Exactly.
If you're from the Oklahoma area, you've probably seen the name. We'll talk more about that here in a bit. I'm going to play some music from him as well. Going to talk about some other great stuff. Jackyl.
Yes.
Reliance Code. But of course, right up front, we've lost another one.
I know. I mean, it all hurts, but this one hurts.
Yeah, it's one of those, you could say this about anyone, but it's just one of those ones you take for granted. You don't really think you're going to wake up tomorrow and Tom Petty's not going to be here.
Yeah.
It's just one of those people that's always there, and it's just good, you know?
I know. I mean, I don't even know. It kind of like what you said. I mean, this wasn't a guy that was, a notorious partier or lived on the edge. He was never in the death pools or anything, and so it's just, it's sad and it's a shock. And, this guy's music, spanned over a few generations, and, sad to see it go. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you just touched on spanned over a few generations. A lot of classic rock artists do that, but he was different because
and that to me is it's pretty telling because God, I've already told this little anecdote on social media, but coming up and playing in Zen Hipster around Tulsa, we all had different tastes in music and bands, and but Tom Petty was one of the ones that we all loved. And I was not a fan of being in a cover band, when we started doing covers. That wasn't something I enjoyed doing, but we all loved Tom Petty and we all wanted to do a few Tom Petty songs. So that was one of the, the highlights of the set was when a Tom Petty song would come up. And I think that just shows that, he had of course he was steeped in classic rock because that was his generation. That was when he came up. But in the 80s, he did all that stuff that was relevant. And even, in the 90s when it really got crazy, I mean, it didn't matter, the people that loved the harder stuff still liked him. Alternative kids loved him. I mean, his stuff really cut through all that bullshit. And, you gotta think too, MTV took a lot of dumps over the years. And when until they really, really took a dump, probably like the final nail was probably in the late 90s, early 2000s, they still played his stuff, because he was just he still was so relevant. And that didn't happen a lot with those guys from the 70s.
Yeah.
And that's really, it's thanks to smarts and the songwriting. And,
yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of point out, is because you think of all those bands that people like the Rolling Stones or, anyone, the Beatles, just someone that was huge and still huge, but there was a generation gap.
Yeah.
You just had to be in that stuff as a younger kid. But there was very few like Aerosmith or Tom Petty where they had that just kept continuing. Like you said, in the 90s, Tom Petty's just straight up rock and roll. And, you would hear Mary Jane's Last Dance or It's Good to Be King right after Enter Sandman and before Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Exactly.
It went with it all and everybody liked it.
Exactly. And that's what tells you something, It really does. I mean, and it's like Tom Petty could have he could have put on a show anywhere and did just shit from the 90s and people would have been cool with it.
Yeah.
Who, other than Aerosmith, who has that power, really?
Right.
So there you go. I mean, I think, one record that really stood out for me was Echo from 99. Rhino Skin. I played that song over and over and over. So yeah, man, this just sucks. And, it's like we know these guys are getting older and we know this stuff is going to start happening, but it doesn't mean it has to be easy, and it's So it's not, and it's real sad.
Right. But yeah, I mean, he's from the beginning cleared it. I mean, even now, like the Hypnotic Eye album.
Yeah.
You know, I got that for free when I went to the, you know, when I bought the ticket to the see him play in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And they did one of those things where everybody bought a ticket, got the album. And just like everything previous, it was great, you know. I mean, American Plan Part B, Fault Lines. And there's very few artists in any category or any genre of music that could claim, I never wrote a subpar song. And I think Tom Petty's probably one of the few that probably could say that.
Yeah,
or could have said that. Because it's like, even if you're listening to an album, you're only familiar with the singles, you're not going to hear a song and think, well, that sucks. It's because, like you said, songwriting, the guy was great.
Yeah.
And whether it was with the Heartbreakers, which was most of his career, or the few albums he did on his own, you know, like Full Moon Fever and with You're So Bad, and of course, Free Fallin' and Running Down a Dream, and then Wildflowers, you know, that album was packed with radio hits, and that was later, that was the mid-90s after.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier. I mean, yeah, this guy, you know, there was never a nostalgia thing going on.
Yeah.
You know, there was never one of those, man, I'm just an old rocker kind of things going on with this guy.
Right.
There just never was, and and I think that's a testament to, you know, his songs and what he pulled off.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely one of the greatest of all time.
Oh, man, for sure.
Something a little more positive.
Okay.
As we made the trip over to Fort Smith, Arkansas this past weekend.
We sure did.
Because Jackyl was playing the sound room. And as an added bonus for us, Reliance Code was on the bill as well.
Our pals in Reliance Code, for sure.
And so just getting right into it, Reliance Code kicked this thing off. It was just them and Jackyl, which is just a great, nice, tightly action-packed night.
That's right.
With two great bands.
They didn't go too overboard or anything.
Yeah. And we've said it before, and we'll say it again, the sound room is just a really cool venue. You know, I was really bummed when the previous venue shut down. I'm glad someone reopened it here in the past year or so, and they're bringing in a lot of great bands, and they've had Reliance Code on a few of these bills, and I think they're opening for Texas Hippie Coalition there later this month.
Yeah.
So, it was very cool to see Reliance Code. This was their first show with only one guitar. For those who don't know, one of their guitarists, Cody Peebles, left recently, and they are now in a search for a guitarist. So if you're a guitarist and you're like serious about this, hit these guys up. They've already started auditioning guys, and they're going to continue here in the next couple months. So
yeah, get on that.
Yeah. And as far as having seen them many times with two guitarists, now seeing with one, obviously if someone had seen it, you know, you could hear a difference, obviously under the solos. But there wasn't a detriment to anything. They could pull this off as a four-piece if they wanted to.
Yeah, definitely. It was still rounded out. There were still solos. I mean, and that's the level these guys are at, you know, they're pros. So, you know, throw a hiccup or two at them. They can handle it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Their album's great. They played a good chunk of those songs, and they even played a new song. So, excited to see what they do with that if they start recording here in this coming year again once they get the new guitarist or however they plan to move ahead. And they've got a lot of gigs coming up as well, so look them up, Reliance Code on Facebook, and follow these guys and keep up to date with them. They're a great kick-ass band out of Oklahoma. Well, Jackyl finalized the night. I mean, as they do.
What do you say?
Yeah, if you listen to our Rocklahoma review episode, which is the last time the two of us saw Jackyl live.
Yeah.
You heard us kind of gush a little much, and that's what we do if it's something we like. And of course, Jackyl's one of those bands where if you haven't seen them live, you're doing yourself a major disservice.
Yeah.
And if you have, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a fucking rock and roll show that is a level above most people.
To the first order.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the bottom line.
Yeah. So, first thing first, this was, I saw him in Oklahoma City about 2 or 3 years ago in a headline show. But it seems like more often than not when I'm seeing him, it's been at festivals over the last decade or so. But we've both seen headline shows here and there. So it's great when you get to see one of these because you get a longer set list, of course. And I noticed they played When Will It Rain, which isn't in a lot of their shorter sets.
Yeah.
Same with Push Comes to Shove.
That was
Secret of the Bottle, of course, which I know is one of your favorites.
Definitely. Yeah, when push comes to shove, I was so glad to hear that. I love, that's my favorite Jackyl record is, the second record. Anything from that record is always welcome. And they play Secret of the Bottle most of the time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But to hear Push Comes to Shove, that was amazing. And, it's just the kind of rock and roll show that makes you feel good. I mean, you don't need anything else except for a show like that. I mean, it was how it should be done, really.
Yeah. And it's another band that doesn't really, Jackyl is a prime example of a band that could rest on their laurels.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They could go out there and play 12 songs, and 10 of them could be from the first album and 2 from the second album, and most people aren't going to cry about it, besides like someone like us who's a fanboy or something. But they don't.
Yeah.
They of course play a good chunk of those songs from that first album, but then they spatter in all these songs from the last several albums, and they not just an album every 6 or 7 years. These guys have put out 3 or 4 albums in the past 10 years?
Yeah.
4, I think.
Yeah.
And they played several of those songs.
Yeah, we got Screwdriver, we got
Rally.
Yeah, Rally.
Encore.
Encore. And the thing is, they're at a point now where their following is such that people want to hear those songs.
Yeah.
They don't have to play the first album anymore. And that's not saying anything bad, because we all love that first album. But, there's so much more they can play and people want to hear it. And so, to see him do a whole hour and a half set, I mean, that was just awesome. I mean, it was so much more wide open, and, it just positive and happy and kick ass and all that cool shit. I mean, really.
Well, which is cool they can do that as well, like you said, because a lot of people don't have that second wind, basically, of their career.
Exactly.
Where people kind of pay attention to what's going on. Like, My Moonshine Kicks Your Cocaine's Ass is like a set staple now.
Yeah, I mean, you can't not play that song.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that song, then you need to turn this off right now and go listen to that song.
And then come back.
And then come back, obviously. But I'm telling you. I mean,
of course, one of your favorite songs of all time.
Just because I'm drunk don't mean you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not kidding. So, I mean, to hear that was awesome. I mean, come on, that's one of the best songs ever written in the face of the earth.
It is.
So, I mean, try to write a better song. You're not going to do it.
Right. And we're standing there the whole time right in front of Jeff Morley, so it was like...
And he's your spirit animal.
Yeah.
We all know this. You've said that before.
As I've been quoted of saying. So, yeah, I mean... And another thing to point out, like we have before, this is another one of those bands, like we mentioned with Sons of Texas or Battlecross, whoever, that is extremely fan-friendly.
Yes.
Like, pretty much every show I've ever been to, even festivals, they'll go to the merch booth after the show, all 4 of them, and meet everybody.
Yep.
Sign autographs, take pictures, shake hands, all that great stuff.
Yeah, we got to meet them. They're great. It was awesome.
Yeah. And I'll just say it. I brought the Thin Underground shirt to give to Jesse, and he pointed out that, thanks, he remembered the review,
which was insane.
Even Roman Glick mentioned, I saved a copy of that. And I was like, hey.
I mean, seriously, Cloud 9.
A guy from Jackyl / Brother Kane.
And Brother Kane. Holy fuck.
Saved a copy of your podcast. How about that?
That's awesome. I can die a happy man now.
Yeah. And Tracy got to touch Jesse James Dupree and Chris Worley, so she was super stoked, I guess. As women seem to be.
Yes. Yeah, well, definitely.
Right. But yeah, to reiterate, see Jackyl live anytime you can. Mm-hmm. They're not one of those bands, like we've mentioned just now, that plays the same set every show, so you get a good mixture of stuff when you go see them. And every time's a freaking Jackyl family reunion.
That's right. Jackyl Stock 2017.
Hell yeah.
If you don't come away smiling from a Jackyl show, then you need your head examined. There's something wrong with you.
Right. That's the that's the final word pretty much on that.
Exactly.
Well, let's get into this Doxy talk. Before we do it, let's play their music. This is a brand new song from Doxy's brand new album called Freakshow, and this song is called Karma. Karma from Doxy's brand new album Freakshow, which should be out soon. You'll hear more about that here in a bit.
Yes.
But that song is a great example of what these guys are doing. Kick-ass fucking heavy metal with melodic guitars and kick-ass vocals, pretty much. I mean, these vocals are the kind of like, if I was a singer, this is one of those voices that I would like to have, where it's
That's
like,
awesome. Yeah.
it's melodic and a little rough around the edges, but extremely amazing at the same time.
Yeah. It's melodic metal. It's just fantastically done. The recording is amazing, which is no surprise. It Valcor Sounds with Hank, and that guy's awesome. But I mean, it just sounds awesome, and the guitars are just. I mean, the guitars are like shark bites. They really are. I mean, it's such a joy to listen to this whole record, and I can't wait for everyone to hear it.
Yeah. You can hear most of these songs right now on their Reverb Nation page. Mm-hmm. I think you might can buy them too. But they are putting out the full album here soon. So be on the lookout for that. It's also got what we talk about here in a bit. There's a instrumental song, which is a tribute to John Halata, which is another very cool thing. John Halata, of course, of Scream Red Mutiny, who we lost at the end of 2016. So be on the lookout for that as well. Check that song out. Whole Lot of Love.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean, should we just get into this?
Yeah, I mean, let's roll it and we'll find all this stuff out.
All right, we got Kevin Bunch and Tom King, Doxy.
CD release party, and then we're probably going to put them on iTunes and stuff.
Yeah. Eventually.
He does all that. Well, you saw how I did with the phone.
We're old.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sounds great, and the guitars are insane. Where'd you guys do it at, and record it and stuff like that?
We recorded Valcor.
Oh,
Broken Arrow, Hank.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we're such a live band that we went in and did everything live. Basically, we recorded that whole album and had it mixed in 14 hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's what we said too. And Hank's like, "Wow, I can't believe you guys did 9 songs."
Yeah, we just kicked him out, and then he sang the whole album and just song after song after song. He didn't stop. I only think he had to correct maybe a couple things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my
crazy.
timing was off.
So it was just like over a weekend, or
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, it was like 3 days.
Nice. Well, you guys did a great job.
Thanks,
I listened to it yesterday at work. It was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So how many takes you're saying? If you did it all live, was it
All the
band-wise, all...
Yeah, we did everything live. And actually, we used a couple of live tracks on the vocals.
Okay.
But I went back and sang the whole album again, like Tom said, but I didn't stop. I just said roll tape, and we just went through it.
Oh, nonstop?
Yeah.
Wow.
And because we're such a live band, and we want to try to capture that.
Yeah.
And when you go in the studio and you pretty everything up and you layer all this stuff, live it's kind of a disappointment. So we wanted to go in and say, okay, here's what we do, and this is what we're going to sound like when you come see us.
Yeah. So.
The only song that was kind of tough was the ballad, but
that's true.
it was just a little at the beginning, but other than that, it was all live.
Yeah.
Now Hank went in and we wrote the strings parts, but Hank went in and played them for us.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So we arranged everything, and that's the only thing. I would love to do something like that live one day with some live stream.
Oh,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be quite an undertaking.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Get everybody to learn it.
It was kind of funny that Hank, when we went in and said we want strings, he was going, well, what do you want? And we started saying parts. And add this, and he's like, oh, okay.
We're like humming the parts.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we don't play, I don't play keyboards.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned you guys arranged it and you did a lot of it live. like how much input did he have? Was he there just to record, or did he have input and stuff for you guys too? Or was everything already completely written and composed besides the string?
Oh yeah, everything was written before we even went into the studio. And then me and Kevin produced it. We know the little different effects of different things in the songs. I mean, we wrote most of it. So, and as a band, we wrote all the songs together. So,
pretty collaborative thing.
Yeah,
yeah. Because I don't write drum parts.
Yeah,
and I don't write leads. I can suggest some stuff, but same with the vocals. They, I try different melodies, and they're like, "Well, try this." And, oh, that's cool.
I don't really write words.
Yeah,
I let him write the words. So, I like our songwriting. I mean, the way I write, I like come up with a premise of a song, the idea of the song. I haven't wrote any music yet, and then go from there.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I do it anyway.
We did go out and talk to Hank a couple of weekends before, because we've never been out there. Mm-hmm. So we kind of went out and feeled him out about how we wanted to do things. And, I mean, he was a brother from another mother, because, I mean, we were all on the same page.
Yeah.
And that experience of recording was probably one of the best I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
We went in and we knew what we wanted to do, but there was no pressure on anybody, because we wanted to really make it count. So, and we were all comfortable with the songs because we had really, written them and played them several times. So we didn't vary away from that much. But like the lead parts, I mean, some of those that Ryan did was off the cuff. Mm-hmm. Which those are the best ones, I think.
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that on his solos, because sometimes it's so raw, So I was impressed.
Cool. Yeah, he's a heck of a guitar player.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you guys were? Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just saying, not much to ask about it, but kind of go into a whole lot of love, and just kind of how you decided to make that. I mean, that was an instrumental, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise going on at work when I heard that, but I'm like, I think that's an instrumental and stuff. So, talk about that song a little bit.
Well, Ryan, in the environments he'd been in before, he didn't have a whole lot of freedom. Mm-hmm. So we were talking, and he had this lick that for the instrumental, that opening lick. He goes, "I'd really like to do this." Okay, so Tom and Ryan just jammed on it and messed around with it, and he was like, "You guys are gonna let me put an instrumental on the album?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not?
Why not?
It gives me a break. I can go get a drink or whatever, The John Halata thing, Ryan was pretty close to him.
Okay. Yeah.
And he goes, "Do you mind if I make this a tribute song?" It's like, "No, dude, that's perfect, But we do it live. We do everything live. The last gig, we played the whole album live.
Okay.
So that was great. But
I was really surprised. I was like, I don't know how instrumentals will go over live, but the first time we played it, it was like, I had several people come up to me. It's like, "Man, that instrumental you guys did was awesome." I was like, "Oh, cool." Usually people at a bar or club or a show, they don't want to hear an instrumental.
Yeah.
But I was really surprised.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Kind of scared me.
Yeah. We don't need you anymore,
We don't
man.
need you anymore, man. But no, that was strictly Brian's baby. He wanted to do something for that, and he, like I said, he couldn't believe that he was doing an instrumental. I was like, "Yeah, man, why not?
Yeah, that's great.
Something to showcase your talent. I mean, he does anyway."
Yeah.
But and just the way it turned out, it was very tasteful and very poignant the way he did his stuff.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, speaking of Ryan, you guys have been doing this for quite a while. What's it like to
Forever.
have? What's it like to have a younger guy in the mix like that? What's he bring to the fold? Is it like energy or anything to reinvigorate you guys?
Yeah, we saw Ryan from another band, and we had approached him before, and he was committed to another band. So when the opportunity came up, he came out and tried out, and it's like, this guy is fire, man. So Tom and myself, we were excited anyway, because all along, we've been writing all along. I mean, we've had a couple of projects that never panned out, but we had some songs under our belt that we'd written. And then we had a drummer situation come up, and then Ryan knew Mikey, and talk about a beast. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so those two guys are familiar with what they've done together, and then we're familiar. So it works well, because Ryan kind of knows how Mikey's going to go, and Tom and I can look at Tom live or something, you know, because we played together for so long. You know, we kind of know when we're making a face what we're doing wrong or doing right. So,
You see me making faces at him live,
usually
you know.
doing wrong,
Yeah, it's either me or him.
But yeah, he brought it another level, because as far as the guitar playing, he's different than anything that we've done before. We had more of a blues player, you know. Ryan's more just in your face and ripping the neck off. So it's like, wow. So it brings in another aspect that we haven't done before. So.
Well, you guys, how long were you guys not doing Doxy?
Too long?
Yeah. Was it 93, 94 that we broke up? And
I wouldn't say we broke up.
we just
kind of went our separate ways.
separate ways. And then Tom and myself started writing again, and then we had a band with another hotshot guitar player, and but he was really young, and
We were writing with Sid too.
yeah, Sid Falk, we played with. He was our drummer.
Okay.
And then he had a hand injury, so that kind of knocked that out of the way.
Yeah, we had him on here way back, and I remember him talking. Was that right at the first thing he did after Overkill? Because he talked
pretty
about
much,
having the hand injury and he had to stop. Overkill.
Yeah,
So.
and it was some heavy stuff. It was stuff that we hadn't been down that road, which was cool.
Yeah.
But then he got the hand injury, and then we kind of just got back together and did some writing and some recording. And what happened was, to get us back in it, the Streets Gone Wild thing came up.
Okay.
And they said, "Hey, you guys want to play?" So, oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So, you know, yes. Let me think about it. Okay, but then we started writing again. The juices started flowing. It's like, man, you don't know how much you miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, until you start doing it again.
Yeah.
Was it someone with Streets Gone Wild that knew you guys from back then? Or?
Yeah, I knew the promoter and the
okay.
owner of the IDL.
Oh, okay.
So, but it was kind of a freak.
Yeah, we
thing.
were. I mean,
Well,
we were surprised we got it,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, because we haven't played out in so long.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that kind of pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah.
But we were like, we thrive on that, though.
Yeah,
we're
definitely.
like, all right, let's do it.
that does make the fire burn a little brighter.
Yeah. Well, was that what got you guys back together, or were you guys together and then you decided, or was it Streets Gone Wild that, you know, okay, now we're going to do this, we got to go get other members, and we got to, or was it all together before that?
We were playing together, writing and stuff, but then when the show happened, it's like, wow, we need to make a CD and get this going again. And everybody's like, well, you need to change your name. It's like, no, you know, good or bad or whatever reputation we have, it's still us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would rather bring the baggage with me, because at least I've got a history, you know, and people know who we are.
Yeah, especially
good or
for that
bad.
festival, that's going to work, you know, perfect for all that. Yeah.
Yeah, being the '80s festival.
We were really stoked about getting that show
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that was one of the best weekends of my life. Just side note.
I know,
it was fucking awesome.
It was so much fun.
My 40th birthday. Oh yeah.
Oh, and a lot of those bands is like they never missed a beat.
I know.
Man.
I know. It was great.
It was phenomenal. They need more like that here in town.
Yeah.
And the response was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, they're doing it next year, I guess.
I hope so.
They're hoping to anyway. So yeah.
Hopefully we'll get back on it.
Yeah, hopefully we will. But we've done some opening since then. We opened for Tracy Guns and Faster Pussycat.
Winger.
Yeah, the Winger show was cool.
Yeah, we were at that one.
Yeah,
we were at the Tracy Guns one too.
Oh,
you
were, weren't we? Yeah.
And see, Winger, they didn't miss a beat, man.
No, God, they were insane.
Red Beach is a monster.
People missed out on a great show.
Yeah. First thing I asked him, though, I said, "You still playing with Whitesnake?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "All right."
Nice.
But yeah, they were phenomenal too.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, playing out the last couple of years here in town, what are any big differences you noticed from when you did it 25 years ago?
Well, downtown's it was a ghost town back in the 90s. It was dangerous to be downtown. And now it's it's like festival every weekend. And it's just a great place to be. That's one of the big differences. And I noticed there's a lot of cover bands. I mean, I ain't got nothing against cover bands. We used to do it a little bit.
Yeah, a few.
But I don't know. It just seems like there's less original now. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Seems like the cover bands are getting all the big shows, and I don't know. I just don't understand why. But,
Well, what's funny too is there's not as many venues. Before there was like 8 or 9 clubs. Now there's not any.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few, and they bring bigger bands in now than they used to.
Yeah.
But back when we did it, we were hauling all this equipment around and lights and now you don't have to do that. And it's like, man,
you just show up.
Yeah, because we were killing ourselves hauling all that PA.
I bet.
Yeah, man.
Thousands of pounds.
Yeah, getting people just trying to help you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has changed a little bit. Like I said, the venues are not as open, but they are open to more original music than they were back then. Which is what's funny is the cover bands are everywhere now. And when we played before, it was all cover bands and no original, but now the original bands are few and far between, which is odd. Because back then they were really and nobody had a place to play because they didn't really accept cover or original stuff back then.
Right.
But we bucked the system back then too. We still played original.
Yeah. Did you guys open up for bands? Any big bands back then?
Oh yeah, Slaughter and we went to Arkansas and opened for Slaughter and Bulletboys and Babylon AD.
King's X.
Yeah, King's X.
Nice.
4 Horsemen.
Oh yeah,
They were awesome. Those guys were
Rocking
cool
is my
guys.
business, and
Yeah.
business is good, man. I forgot about them.
Oh yeah. And what was funny is we went. It was in Samurai Sake House in Oklahoma City.
Oh yeah,
that
okay.
that was a cool place. I don't even still around.
I got to play there once.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, and they come walking in, and it's like, really, Frank Starr? Really? Because I didn't know who we were playing with. And they had just bought a bunch of David Lee Roth's equipment, I guess, after the Skyscraper album.
Yeah.
And now they're carrying all this David Lee Roth stuff in. It's like, no way, Roth's not playing this.
He likes sushi, Kevin.
Yeah, and they were like, well, we just bought all this equipment. It's like, you're scaring me. I was like, I can't keep up with that guy. But they were really cool, and they were touring with the Bulletboys. And they took a break and came down and did that. But that was a great show.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Dimwit, the drummer sat on a 5-gallon bucket.
Really?
Paint bucket. That was his drum. His name was Dimwit.
Oh my God.
He was.
You're not going to see that happen anymore.
No.
You know? Damn.
Yeah, that was a cool show. I mean, I think a lot of those guys have passed now, though.
Wow.
I think Freakstar's gone, and Dimwit's gone, and I think there's another one that's gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
4 Horsemen. Damn.
Yeah, that was a great band.
Well, going way back before Doxy, what were you guys doing? Or was this your first? I know you were in Beast, is what
Yeah.
Scott had told me.
Yeah, I was in a band called Beast, yeah. Now that's a story. I was from Sapulpa, and we wore the heavy makeup, kind of Kissy-esque. And we played the name up Beast. It wasn't The Beast, it was Beast, but we still had that connotation.
Mm-hmm.
So we were getting a lot of press from that.
Yeah.
We were actually sermons in a couple of churches here in town, and I got death threats, and seriously, I still have them. I have stacks and stacks. People, I know it's crazy,
Yeah,
but you got to remember this is early '80s.
Yeah.
Right.
So we were doing that, but we would put on our own shows. We didn't, play clubs. If we did, it was like 1 or 2. But we went out and did our own show. We rented places and put it on big extravaganzas. We'd not make any money, but
Where would you do it at?
like
Places
Creek County Fairgrounds,
Okay.
and we'd rent buildings, and sometimes we'd get sponsors like Mad. We did some stuff for Mad one time, and we tried to play the fair, but they thought that we were a little extreme. But it was a no drug festival, and it's like we would like to play that.
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't look the part. Well, hence, I think they'll probably listen to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's stuff like that. We didn't get in the door
Mm-hmm.
because of that. But then that's how I met Tom.
Okay.
He was in a rival band, and they were at the studio, and his friend said, "Come on down and do some backgrounds." I said, okay. So Tom was in there playing, and who knew that we would be playing eventually?
Yeah.
Because he was in another band, I was in another band.
Well, how does it feel to know that you were part of some sermons on Sunday morning?
I like that.
Yeah.
Thrive on it.
Good.
Yeah,
Good
and
answer.
there's actually a video on YouTube that we did for Metal Blade Records, and back then videos were not a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they were testing the waters. Well, we were going to be on the Metal Blade compilation, and we got the confirmation letter and everything. And Lizzie Borden's Murderous Roadshow tape didn't sell that well, so they scrapped the project.
Really?
But you can see it on YouTube. And actually, On the Run is a song I wrote, and we still do that.
We still
but
do
it's
it, yeah.
a totally different arrangement.
Really? Wow.
It's a little faster now.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little faster.
yeah.
We looked really heavy, but we weren't that heavy. We were just scary.
Just looks scary.
And that was the whole point. We wanted to scare people.
Yeah.
But they banned us from Sapulpa. We got banned from Drumright and got banned from Sapulpa. Sapulpa Fest, we used to play that down there.
Yeah.
And we'd have like 4,000 or 5,000 kids down there. And they banned us because
That was one of our points here. What happened with all that?
they just the town got together and said these guys are the devil and they're making our kids do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like
We're warping minds.
Yeah. Because we were popular, and they hired a country band, and we did a protest. And the first, I kind of gear my mouth for what audience I have.
Yeah.
If I'm doing, there's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to, that's how I speak, but I can tone myself down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing the country band did was start cussing over the microphone.
Oh, man.
And I was going, well, there you go. Have fun.
Have fun, preacher.
Yeah, thank you.
Corrupting the youth.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what you wanted.
Yeah.
He's drinking whiskey and
Yeah.
throwing with a 5-year-old.
Oh,
What's
God.
funny is after that, the festival went defunct.
Yeah. No,
So that was a
yeah.
little
Yeah.
karma. So that's why we wrote the song Karma on the new album.
There you go.
Which, by the way, is my favorite song
Thank you.
of
Thanks.
those 9 songs.
Thank you. That's our opening number.
All right.
Nice.
And actually, that was probably the first one
Yeah, that's
that we got.
we wrote with
we wrote-
Ryan and
Mhm.
and Mikey.
Mhm.
Okay.
because Karma was, we wrote that one, and like Rise Up on the album.
Yeah.
That's another one that Ryan had the opening lick and was like, nobody's ever let me use it. It's like,
Yeah.
try it, man. You know, we're
See what we can do.
yeah, we're willing to try anything once, just to say that we tried it.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing more frustrating to me than if I come in with an idea and these guys go, it'll never work. Well, how do you know?
Yeah.
So, because I've been down that road. You know, being in the business a long time, you've experienced a lot of stuff. And I'm sure Tom has too. But so we're willing to try anything once. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I'm open to any idea you have, you know, if we're writing. So
Yeah. We won't be doing any Spice Girl covers or anything like that. No. We're willing to try anything, just about. You know.
Yeah.
Well, do you need to hear the music before you do the words, or do you have just like a notebook of words that or lyrics that you've always had, or?
I have some like that.
Yeah.
But like, say, Monster.
Okay.
Tom came in with that idea. Now, the idea he had, I kind of turned it around. But he came in and said, let's write this song. I got this music. Let's write this song about a love affair that's toxic. Well, I tried that, but when I hear the music, I try to go what makes me feel.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, I have this Monster song. But what I've done is I've taken it where the love affair has become the monster and is consuming both parties involved, where they can't control it. Instead of going to a more toxic, you know, bad situation, which worked, and Tom loved it too. So, and it's as a ballad. Well, you can see I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
Ballads, I love doing ballads.
Yeah.
Because it gives me a chance to sing. But I'm not really, I don't consider myself a singer. I'm a front man. I'm not a Jeff Tate. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a David Lee Roth or a Jim Dandy or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be out there jumping around and showing off.
Yeah.
And occasionally hit a right note, but
you sell yourself too short now.
Thank you.
Yeah, my original idea for that song was, you know, you got one fucked up person over here and another one fucked up over here. And they're not that bad separated. But you put them together and then, you know, that's the monster, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you see these serial killer couples.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, you know, they were maybe shoplifting or something when they were separate. When they got together, and they were like, killed like 10 people.
Well, look at the couple in Russia they just picked up.
Yeah.
They were eating like 30 people. And,
What?
Yeah.
yeah, they had a picture of their head on a platter with a bunch of fruit around it and an orange in their mouth, and they
Are
had
you
the
serious?
eyes smeared out.
I haven't heard of this.
Oh, it's on the news. It's
Wow.
insane. So sorry when you said that, I immediately thought there's
That'll be
song
the
for your
inside
next
sleeve of our next album.
Yeah.
It's on a platter.
But
Anyways,
it's the same way like Karma. I heard that and came in with that idea,
Yeah.
which I'm big on that.
Mhm.
We've seen that happen too many times, you know, good and bad.
yeah,
So, and plus being the first song that we wrote, it's like, we're back. Here we go. You know, I wanted to,
Something in your face.
yeah, something, and put a point down when we come in. So, but I mean, yeah, we're always just, everybody is involved.
Mm-hmm.
But like the words, they kind of let me
yeah,
play with that,
cool.
and I still don't remember. No comment.
That's where you see me making faces at him.
What was that?
We mentioned Ryan had riffs, and you said you had ideas and stuff. Do you guys, any of this stuff come from you guys getting in a room and just jamming? Or is it all stuff you brought in and just
Well,
going
actually,
from there?
yeah, Kevin was sick or something and couldn't make it to practice, and I was like, I had a few riffs, and I was like, Ryan, let's just go up there and just jam, you know. He had a riff. We put them both together, and it really fit real well, you know. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. That's how we come up with "We Are the Strange." I had the lyric riff, the kind of heavy one, and he came up with that that part, and it's like, "Hey, Kevin," when he came back, like a few days later, he was like, "Check this out, see what you think," and we just kind of came, went from there. It's kind of a cool deal with that.
That's a little out of our wheelhouse too, with the vocals on the chorus and stuff, which that was a happy accident too. We did not plan that. We went in the studio,
but those are the things you got to keep and record and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
Because Tom and myself were doing the backgrounds, and we were just happened to hit a harmony. It's like, oh, that's cool. Can you do it again? I don't know. We'll try it. We'll try it.
I don't know what I did there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, this might be kind of a corny question, but I know, over the past 10 years or so, I feel like melodic rock and metal has it's more accepted now than, when it went away in the late 90s and was kind of looked down upon by douchebags or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how do we get more people, like younger kids or something, into this kind of stuff? Is that even possible?
Well, what I find funny is everybody downs the 80s stuff. But that's one of the most popular realms of music. I mean, look at Rocklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh, the first year, oh my God.
That was amazing.
Yeah, people were coming from all these different countries and stuff.
They still do.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a complete 80s radio station in Tulsa now. I mean,
I listen to it actually.
Me too.
But yeah, and the same way on when I'm doing other things, I'll put my phone on and I put on 80s music. It holds the test of time, I think. People think it's cheesy, but I mean, okay, Janie Lane wrote Cherry Pie, and he hated that song. And that was a record company deal. But listen to some of the songs. I mean, Uncle Tom's Cabin and some of his ballads are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Dog Eat Dog album is
A masterpiece.
oh my,
It's
exactly.
one of my
It
favorite
is.
records of all time.
Yeah.
I've said this, about Warrant before, but it really holds true with all that is, I listen to a ton of stuff, but just because I do doesn't mean I'm gonna, I wasn't gonna, shun that and make fun of the very genre that got me into music to begin with.
Yeah.
That really kind of saved me. And I went through, and I'm a little younger too, and I caught a lot of shit, and I never gave a fuck about it,
Yeah.
So
See,
what you're saying,
Exactly.
That's what we, even in the later days of Doxy, the last days, we were still, doing the melodic rock and all that, and we were like, really do it?
Yeah.
And it's like
Slayer.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? That's great, but that's not who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that we kind of walked away and we went our separate ways, was that the whole realm of music was changing with Nirvana and everything. And you know what? I can't be fake. I'd rather walk away and play my type of music than try to fake it. Because people
A
can
lot of
see
bands
that.
did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can see through that.
Mhm.
You can see when somebody's faking it.
You see all the clones, even signed bands that were clones of, like clones of Nirvana and Soundgarden.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy to go to like Metal Sludge and look at all the alternative bands, and they go find their pictures from when they were in 80s bands with the big hair and stuff.
Guns N' Roses?
Yeah. Well, the guy from Weezer used to have the biggest freaking hair,
Wasn't the guy from like Pigface and like Faster Pussycat or something?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or who was?
But didn't Tame Me Down have both of those going?
Or maybe
I
I'm
can't
thinking some. There
remember.
was some industrial band that was a guy that.
Well, Rough Cut became Orgy.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, Rough Cut. Yeah, man. Paul
Yeah.
Sortino.
Yeah,
just
that
like
guy
Paul
can
Sortino,
sing.
yeah.
I love Rough Cut.
Now, he's with
Black Widow.
Yeah.
He's with that one in Vegas, isn't he?
Oh,
The rock.
the rock and roll
Yeah.
time machine or
Yeah.
vault, the rock vault or
The
whatever.
Rock Vault, that's it. Yeah, he's singing for that.
That's right.
That's we caught a lot of crap with that too, like I said. And I think that happened to everybody when they went down, Hollywood Boulevard and signed every band because Quiet Riot's album went #1, first metal album to do that, so they signed everybody. Well, yeah, you're gonna get some
cheese.
You're
gonna start getting some,
right. You get some clones, but there again, when the night they did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But MTV turned its back on the 80s stuff, which made them what they were.
Yeah.
And like I said, it still holds up, man. People want to hear that music.
That's right.
If Rocklahoma comes around and everybody goes ape shit crazy, something's right.
Mm. Yeah. There's people from like Australia and Japan and stuff. That first one.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
What about stepping outside that? Is there other stuff you guys listen to nowadays?
Oh yeah,
like outside of the realm of.
I'm a huge Deftones fan.
Yes.
And I still love Static X.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I don't know, when I'm kind of pissed off, I want to listen to that stuff. Release some stress.
Yeah.
What you?
I'm a big Black Label Society fan. I like Saliva a lot.
Yeah.
I was a big Hinder fan, actually. Now, that's kind of 80s, but it had a little twist.
Yeah, it did.
But I did like the attitude that they had about everything,
Yeah.
It was like, we don't care.
Yeah.
And he's still got that attitude. That's why he's not working, but... you know what I mean?
Yeah, that second album sounded like if Motley Crue decided to become a modern rock band.
Yeah.
It had both things mixed together,
But I liked the Deftones and Static X. I saw them when they first came out. Saw them with Megadeth at Brady.
I was at that.
That was a great show.
That was a good show. That was, except when Megadeth played Breadline, everybody was like, "What the hell?" And everyone was silent. So they just went right into She-Wolf, and everybody went crazy again.
I don't know that song.
Yeah.
Well, what was funny was the night before Alice Cooper was there.
Oh yeah.
So I went to that show, and then the next night it was Megadeth and Static X, and it was a totally different attitude. I mean, Cooper just walked in, no big deal. Hey, and everybody sat down. Megadeth and Static X, you got, scanned, and you got,
exactly.
all the front rows were out from G forward, mosh pit, and you could just tell the employees had a whole different attitude. They were ready to rip your head off. And it's like, wow.
Oh, man.
But I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Because there's another guy I'm a big Cooper fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big Alice Cooper.
How can you not be?
Yeah. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
What do you think about this with the original band getting back
That
together?
was cool.
I mean, I just guess they just did a couple shows, but
Yeah, and I think they're on the new album. There's a couple
Right.
of songs on the new album. But his band now, though, I mean, Nita Strauss,
Yeah. She's nuts. Man.
she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Ryan Roxy is a badass too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's another guy. I mean, he doesn't care. He does what he wants to do, and his stuff will hold up.
Yeah.
Till we're gone.
Yeah.
People will still be listening to it. Well, listen to this new music I found.
I wish I could have saw him at the IDL when he was on the drug show.
I know I didn't go to that. I should have.
work. Well,
They said the whole band was down there hanging out.
that's awesome. Yep, and I missed it.
I did too.
Well, funny enough, I met him at Woodland Hills Mall in '99.
Really?
He was eating at Taco Bell with his wife and 2 kids. And nobody knew who he was.
Kevin's got great stories.
Yeah. I walked in and my wife goes, "There's Alice Cooper." I went, "Yeah, don't
No,
do that.
not.
To, don't do that to me." Because he was going to play the next night.
Yeah.
And she goes, "No, I can recognize that profile anywhere." So I walked over and I went, "Oh my God, it is." So I stood by another restaurant, about to pee my pants, just waiting for him to finish eating because I didn't want to bother him. And I went over there and he was a nice guy. Introduced me to his wife and his kids. And, I asked for an autograph and he said, "Well, we kind of look alike. Hey, Mom says you never call. I was like, well, I'm busy. I'm out on the road. Stuff like that. And so he was really cool.
That's awesome.
But nobody knew who he was.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But,
That's crazy.
I tell that story because people like that don't ever change.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has a reason to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Because he's old and he's seen probably everything.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
Well, and I think that that's a reason that he is still doing what he's doing and is as successful, is because of that kind of demeanor. Our buddy Trevor went to that, and Eddie Trunk set on a show for like a week ahead of time. He's not doing autographs. He's not doing any of that. Well, Trevor said he got down there and shook hands with everybody and took pictures and everything. I'm like, that's because he's Alice Cooper, and he's not an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And I try to live by that philosophy. I mean, by no means we're that big or have that kind of attitude. But say some kid that's 14 years old happens to see us play somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You have to remember back when you were 14.
Yeah.
And you don't know that I'm not huge. That 14-year-old kid doesn't know that I'm not some big band.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go over and treat him like shit, he's going to remember that the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But if I treat him nice, he's going to remember that the rest of his life too.
Yeah.
And, you don't know who you're talking to. Say I ran into you in the bar and was just an asshole. And I go, hey, I want to be on your show. And kiss my ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you should always be appreciative of the people that actually come to see you play.
Definitely.
I learned that a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you ever had any unpleasant experiences?
You want to tell any of yours?
Unless you
Not really. I mean, I understand what, if we're playing a club or something, or even a show, everybody's there to have a good time, and sometimes you come across a drunk person,
It's not us.
It's not us. I just kind of let it slide. If they get aggressive or whatever, But usually everybody's pretty cool at our shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have met one band, but I was crushed. But I met them in their environment with nobody else around.
Gotcha.
And the band starts with a K and ends with a S. So, and I was devastated.
Yeah.
And because I used to get my ass kicked in school for being a Kiss fan.
Yeah.
I'm old. So I was around when they first came out. And nobody knew who they were. And, you're wearing that makeup around town and, all that. Because every kid did that. That's a Kiss fan. You put the makeup on, the Gene Simmons makeup and all that, and ran around town and, acting stupid. Well, you used to pay for that when you did that back in those days. But, that's the only really one that I've had a bad experience with. Like Ronnie James Dio, met him, nicest guy. Nicest guy.
I always heard he was awesome.
Alex Skolnick was a nice guy.
That's awesome.
Chuck Billy was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Slaughter, when we went on, those guys were cool as you could be.
Yeah.
Telling a story when they were warming up, Mark Slaughter, he was eating a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah. He was out there eating.
The sound check?
Yeah, he's out there eating sound check, and the sound guy just going ape shit crazy. What's going on? He's, what? And he's like, trying to sing. He had peanut butter sandwich in his mouth, and he was trying to hit those notes.
Yeah.
And the sound guy's just like, the hell? He thought his speakers were all messed up.
That's awesome.
But the guy did that on purpose. Yeah, Mark said, I just wanted to go out there and mess with the kids. But he was really cool. They were really nice guys because that was one of our first really big shows, 10,000 seater. And they said, just remember that they're here for you.
Yeah.
And, just remember that they're here to see you. So just have fun. It's like, why? That's right. Just have fun. Because back then I didn't have fun. I was on a hell-bent rage to make it big.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having a blast.
We're having a really blast. I mean, this band is probably the best band overall, musician-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But we have more fun.
Yeah.
We have, like I said, the studio was hilarious. We had a great time. Hank said he didn't want to see us leave.
That's
So
a good
we're out of
sign.
money, dude.
We got
Yeah, if you want to give us free time.
But I mean, we had a great time.
Well, fun is probably the most important thing in this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be.
Took a long time to learn that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's the plan once you guys get this album out? Are you gonna, after CD release show, you plan to just hit it hard with more shows, or how are you gonna promote this thing?
We'd like to. I would like to get some opening gigs here in town and get on the radio, and try to get in rotation. I think those music holds up. I mean, I'm a little biased, but I think the music holds up. Maybe with the iTunes thing, we can get a broader spectrum of fans. I mean, back in the day, we used to have fans from Russia and China, and I have letters and stuff and that was what was funny to me, that we had all that fan base, but we couldn't get out and get a break.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was odd, because we even went to LA for a convention out there and said, what do we got to do? And they couldn't tell us.
But that was like during the shift from to grunge,
Yeah.
So it was kind of a weird time.
We talked to Michael Wagner out there, and a chick from Rip Magazine, and Warrant. We went out there, and what was funny, when I took the band out there, I said, we're going to see some bands. Like Tad was hitting it big, and Clutch, and it was around that genre, right? And I think Kiss was playing, Steve Vai played out there.
Except
That was the thing. We went out and saw all these new bands, but when Accept hit the stage, that place went ape shit.
Yes. Yeah.
And I looked at my band and said, see, it's still here, man. The stuff's still here.
Yeah.
it was like the new bands they were showcasing that year was
Yeah.
like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and
Candlebox.
Let the Boys Be Boys, whatever that rap song is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Biohazard Nonics. Or something.
Slam?
Yeah.
Slam, yeah.
Slam, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they had what was that other band? Oh, crap. There was a bunch of the newer bands. But yeah, we were right next door to the guys from Tad. And we were hanging out with Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and it was really a cool deal. I mean, the convention was the Concrete Foundations thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a big snooze fest. You go in the hotel and there's 18 bars. Well, we know what everybody's going to be doing.
I'm kidding.
But, I mean, we met a lot of cool people. I mean, Nickel McBrain and was there, and Rob Halford. Met Halford. Oh, God, there was a bunch of other ones. Guy from Europe, John, guitar player.
Norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Nico were sitting behind us eating. Another time you don't want to bother anybody.
Yeah.
We didn't care. But yeah, our plan is just to get out and just hit it hard, and hopefully the fans will respond.
Yeah.
You know, that it's, we haven't lost the fire. I mean, it's bigger now. And we're going to continue writing, and probably we've already written a couple of new songs. So we're going to just get out there and hit it, and hopefully we'll get some shows. And that's the other thing that has changed is people sell tickets now, where I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
That's a new thing that I'm not used to.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to do that back then. We just, and you don't get paid as much, if any, now.
Wow.
Much. But if you're in it for the money, you better give it up. Don't pick up a guitar because you're going to be really disappointed.
That's true.
Because there's no money in it.
Unless you want to play casinos all the time. I
Well,
guess.
there you go, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're back to the cover song thing.
Yeah. Wear a wig.
Yeah. Well, I don't do that. Well, I would like to get on the Streets Going Wild thing if they have it again. And like I said, I would get back in the day we used to play the Canes a lot.
Yeah.
And there was a couple clubs in Oklahoma City that David Fitzgerald, DCF, is over. And he used to book us a lot.
Yeah.
And I got to get back in with him. I just haven't got the connections I used to have.
Mm-hmm.
But David's a nice guy, too.
Yeah.
Because we did the King's X thing and the Four Horsemen and Bulletboys, yeah. Babylon AD, and they're back together, I heard.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They just got an album.
I
It's
did
coming
not
out
know
or just
that.
came out. I haven't heard of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like that band. They were a good band.
Speaking of nice people, have you ever? I don't know how he was back then. I heard stories that were bad about Mark Torian, but we talked to him for this podcast last year, and he's like literally one of the nicest people I ever sat down with in my life.
I never got to talk to him.
And I mean, obviously that changes over the course of 20-some years, and he even said that, I wasn't easy to get along with, but now he's like making up for it, I guess.
And I was never a big Bulletboys fan or anything, and that ended up being one of my favorite ones we've ever done. I mean,
That's
it was
cool.
the nicest of the nice. It was
Really?
It was crazy, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even see him during the sound check. I think we seen the bass player and the drummer.
It's funny that you think you
That
get
was
to go
it.
and talk with all these guys and you don't really ever see them.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But we did. I mean, we played for opened up for King's X. He actually came down, and the singer, Doug Finnick,
Mhm.
came down, sat at our table, and after he got our stuff set up,
Yeah.
and hung out, talked to us.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really nice guy.
Yeah, he even called our drummer every now and then.
Really?
Back then.
That's cool.
That guy's a freak of nature. Like, still to this day, he's like, 68 or something, and
Yeah.
he sounds like
Yeah.
better than 20-year-olds,
Yeah, he sounds good, looks good. It's crazy.
I know it.
I love his bass tone.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Great player.
Yeah, definitely.
But, I mean, Tulsa has such a wealth of bands anyway. They don't ever really have anything to showcase.
Mhm.
Every now and then you'll get a bunch of bands playing. But they don't really sit down and say, okay, we're going to do a whole showcase of Tulsa bands, like a festival type thing.
Mhm.
I mean, you could play Mayfest, but I mean, I don't know how much of that's our audience.
Yeah.
We might
Maybe 10%.
Yeah, but stuff like that. I mean, there's not any really. You have the Streets Going Wild thing, which is awesome. That when Doug and Tom did that was phenomenal.
Mhm.
And there again, though, the people have to support it, and therein lies some of the problem too. Is because it's a pretty big chunk of change, and it's not like back. When I first saw Kiss, it was $4.
Yeah.
I saw
That's
a band-
$4 for water.
I saw, especially at a Patriots game, right?
Yeah.
You hear about that? They were selling tap water out for glass for $5. The game last Sunday because they ran out of water.
Oh my God.
Yeah, tap water.
Tap water for
Here, let me get this out. Toilet.
Yeah, here you go, man.
Yeah, that was $5. Man.
But yeah, I saw Van Halen $9. Now
Yeah.
it's $300.
Yeah.
Oh God, I ain't got enough blood to give to do that. It's hard for me to drop that kind of money. So I would like to somehow see more all ages shows.
Yeah.
Because the clubs we play, we can't get a lot of the all ages stuff. But see, and there again, that's hopefully our target audience is around 15 up.
Mhm.
I think they're kind of into that. hang around that many 15-year-olds, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's the 80s stuff is still big, I think. Just talking to everybody, like you said, the kids like, hey, and vinyl, vinyl's outselling CDs now, and it's all the old stuff, it's not the new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And that's nice to
I
hear.
never thought I'd hear that again.
That's
but
nice
it's
to hear.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're just going to keep plugging, and as long as people will come out and see us play,
Yeah.
Even
Definitely.
if they don't.
we'll still be playing. We'll still be playing.
It'll still be fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just paste a bunch of pictures on the wall and act like it's an audience, right?
Some mannequins.
Yeah, there you go.
Instead of having, like they're doing now with holograms on stage, you need to have a hologram audience.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be freaky.
It'd be cheap, right?
Yeah.
They'll all have the same expression on their face.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we appreciate your time, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for asking us out.
Yeah,
man.
thanks for-
Appreciate it.
Some good
Invite us.
stories.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, we could sit here and tell you more, but we'd probably get in trouble.
Tell them about the Canes fee waybill.
Oh, that's no guy. That was. I used to work for the Canes every now and then,
Mm-hmm.
and the Tubes came through
Yeah.
back in the '80s. I think Riot played the night before,
Mm-hmm.
and they were Swords of Tequila. Ooh, yeah. I mean, that was their sound check, and they were just ripping it. They played like 8 times, like don't stop. But the Tubes came in, and of course I helped set them up and everything. B. Waybill was pissed. I mean, he thought this. They had like 8 semis full of stuff because they had these big, gigantic 20-foot tubes, and because that's when the backward completion principle
Yeah.
was big, right?
Uh-huh.
And he walked into the Canes and went, plain as hell, but they did it.
Wow.
But he was pretty mad. Yeah, and that was a good show, but he was pissed. I get to go try on the Quaalude shoes, so I went backstage and put on the Quaalude shoes. He didn't know that.
Well, they got to know what size the venue is they're coming to, don't
You'd
they?
think.
I mean, I don't know.
You'd think, but I mean, he was mad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He didn't even, usually they bought barbecue for everybody, again, smoke home. And he didn't even sit and eat with us. He just,
Really?
It's pissed.
he was mad. Yeah.
Nice. Well,
But I mean, there's a lot of history.
yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It was awesome.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thanks for your invite.
There you go, Kevin and Tom from Doxy. Very cool to have them on here. Thank you to both of them for taking the time out of their evening to talk to us. We've seen them a couple times now since they've made their return. We saw them open for Tracy Guns at the Shrine.
Yes, we did.
And then...
We saw them open for Winger.
Yeah, they opened for Winger as well at the Ideal Ballroom.
Yep.
So if you're in the Oklahoma area, get out here, check these guys out. They've been around for a long time, but just made their comeback here in the last couple years. Very glad to see them back.
Definitely.
So yeah, Doxy. Look them up on Facebook. Follow them. While you're doing that, look us up. Follow us. Like it. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube.
All that.
All that great stuff is at The Thunder Underground. SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. 142 previous episodes on there. If you like stuff like Doxy, we've had on guys from Warrant, Europe, Great White, Lillian Axe, Bulletboys, Trickster, Firehouse. Then we've had on heavier stuff like Death Angel, Overkill, Battlecross, stonery, groovy stuff like King, The Sword, Truck Fighters, and you take over here.
We can't forget.
I always forget to say Wino. You remember?
Yeah,
that?
we have. We've had Wino from Spirit Caravan and the Obsessed. We've had. It just flashed for me and I forgot it already.
Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Gene Simmons and Bruce Kulick from Kiss, separate, of course.
I need some kid who hasn't wiped his first cum stain off his leg to tell me what I need in my life.
we've had Sons of Texas a couple times, which, their new album's out and it's amazing. We've talked about that. Drowning Pool, Super Joint, Down. We've had those guys on. Child Bite.
Yeah.
We've gone a little left to center and had Ian Moore on, Shooter Jennings. We go all over the place. The Normandies, we've had Lenny Lashley from the Street Dogs. So yeah, I mean, whatever you're digging, we're probably going to cover it eventually.
Yeah.
So there
I
you
know
go.
you people like Seven Dust and Corrosion and Conformity and Saving
right.
Abel.
Yeah.
There you
Saving
go.
Abel, I mean, come on. So Chris Green, who is in like everything, Taiketo, Delacoma. I mean,
Who
kicks
has
ass.
also been on here.
Yes,
Delacoma.
they've been on here too. So, I mean, just sink your teeth into this stuff and find something you like.
Yeah, every Monday night we stream at 7 p.m. Central, 1027WSNR.com. You can also download that app and listen to that radio station anytime, 24/7 rock and roll and shows and podcasts like us. 7 p.m. Central Monday nights, and then, of course, like we said, you can stream everything else anytime you want on YouTube or SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. Once again, thanks to Doxy. Look him up, follow him on Facebook, follow Jackyl,
Yeah.
and blast some Into the Great Wide Open.
That's right. I've already cranked like 6 Tom Petty songs before you got here earlier.
That's the first time you've listened to him in years, wasn't it?
It has. I admit.
I was just being that guy. Sorry.
And you can give me shit for it. I probably deserve it, but I did. But when Chris Cornell died, I waited I just listened to some Soundgarden the other day for the first time, so I waited. But Tom Petty, that was Anyways, I'm gonna shut up now.
Now I waited I didn't listen to any Chris Cornell stuff for a while just because it was one of those ones that just made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
But Tom Petty, I probably will soon enough. But it was funny. Just the other day, I was playing Learning to Fly when I was driving somewhere.
Yeah.
And I told Tracy, sorry, I play this song too much because I was playing it like every other day.
Yeah.
But
it's
for
so
some
good.
reason, that song, just is in my head. And she's like, I don't care. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Another song he had that was great was You Wrecked Me. God, I could listen to that song 80 times over.
Yeah.
It never gets old.
And the soundtrack from She's the One with your girl Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, come on. What do you say about that? I forgot he did that whole thing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's fucked, it's sad day.
And last year, whenever I saw Stevie Nicks live, she played Stop Dragging My Heart Around.
Oh, look at that.
So that was cool too. There you go.
Rest in peace.
All right. Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.